everyone, welcome to the channel. So today we are going to start the next chapter in the series of Polity through MCQ series, and these MCQs are directly based on the book M. Laxmikanth. Now our today's chapter is going to be the official language. Now this chapter is important as this year 5 languages have been added and have been given the classical language status. So for the UPSC and the state PSC point of view, this chapter is really important. You need to know this chapter in detail. So let us first study some of the explanation part, and then straight away we will move to the questions and solve the questions of this chapter. Now, if I talk about the official languages, so the provision in the Constitution of India regarding the official languages are mentioned under part 17 of the Constitution, and the articles regarding official languages ranges from article 343 to article 351. Now, under these provisions, the bifurcation or the provisions are divided in 4 different parts. The first part is about the language of the union. Second is about the regional languages. Third is about the language of the judiciary, or the language to be followed by the judicial system in our India. And then the fourth is about the special directives. Now let us study this one by one. Now if we talk about the language of the union, so the language, the first provision regarding this is that the Hindi in Devanagari script is to be the official language of the union. But the form in which this Devanagari script is to be used or Hindi is to be written is that the international form of the numerals. It means 1, 2, 3, which is the standard, and the international form that is to be used while writing in Hindi also, not the Devanagari form of numerals is to be used. Okay. Now, the second provision is regarding the 15-year clause. Now, the provision was made that for a period of 15 years from the commencement of the constitution, that is the year 1950 when the constitution started, till 1965, this tenure is of 15 years. So the provision was made that for a period of 15 years, English language is used to be would continue to serve as the official purpose regarding the union, okay, after 1950s. Okay, so this 15-year clause was there for English. Now what after 15 years then? 1965 tak to English as a language would be used. What after 1965? Now after the 15 years, that is after the 1965, the parliament may provide for the continued use of the English language. Okay. Now what was the next provision? That the next provision was a committee of parliament is to be constituted to examine the recommendations of the commission. Okay, and this commission was used this commission was appointed by the president. Okay, and this commission, the role of this commission would be regarding the recommendation with regard of the progressive use of the Hindi languages and what restrictions are to be imposed on the use of English languages. So this was the role of the commission, and this commission was to be appointed by the President of India. Okay. Now then when the commission would have submitted its report to the president, then the parliament should study that, should form a committee. A committee was to be formed by the parliament regarding the recommendations that were made by the commission. Okay. Now according to this, in the year 1955, an official languages commission was appointed by the President of India, who was headed by B.G. Kher. Okay. Now this commission presented the report to the president, and then the parliament committee of parliament took into the consideration, and then ultimately in the year 1963 official languages act was passed. Okay. Now this official languages act provided for the continued use of English even after the year 1965. The first provision was that. Okay. Now in addition to Hindi, for all the official purposes of the union, and okay, Hindi was also to be used and English was also, yeah, was also to be used after 1965. Okay, now let us see the next provision which was made regarding the regional languages. Now the constitution does not specify the official languages of different state. Okay, however, some of the provisions were made. Let us see those provisions now. Okay, the legislature of state may adopt any one or more languages in use in the state or Hindi as the official language of the state. So it is not the power of the parliament but the power of the legislature of state to adopt any one or more languages as the official language of that state. May it be Hindi or any other language. वन और वन से ज़्यादा लैंग्वेजेस भी हो सकती हैं. ओके, एंड जब तक ये प्रोविजन इज नॉट एक्सेप्टेड, या जब तक द स्टेट हैज़ नॉट अपॉइंटेड, द लेजिस्लेटर ऑफ द स्टेट हैज़ नॉट अपॉइंटेड एनी ऑफ द लैंग्वेज, द इंग्लिश हैज़ टू बी कंटिन्यूड एज द ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज ऑफ द स्टेट. ओके, now as per this, majority of the state have adopted their regional languages. Okay, for example, Andhra Pradesh has adopted Telugu, Kerala has adopted Malayalam, Assam Assamese, West Bengal Bengali. Then there are 9 northern states that have adopted Hindi as their official language. That is, which are the name of the states? So the northern belt consisting of Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, then there is Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Haryana, Rajasthan, etc. All of these states are those which has adopted Hindi as the language. Okay, now Gujarat has Gujarati as well as Hindi. Goa has Marathi as well as Konkani. So these are the languages that are regional languages that are made as the official languages of the state. Okay, now in addition to this, the official language of the union, that is English, is used to be, the English would serve as a link of communication between the union and the states. This is one another provision that was added. Okay, now the Official Languages Act that I told of the year 1963, it also provided, it laid down that the English should be used for the purpose of the communication between the union and the non-Hindi states also. Okay, so Hindi was to be used. Now then a power came to the president. So what was was this power? So the president, when the president is satisfied that the substantial proportion of the state or the substantial portion of the state desires the use of any language spoken by them, okay, as the regional language, when majority of people agreed to that or the significant people living in that state agreed to this provision, so that language can be made as the official language of the state. Okay, now if I talk about the language of the judiciary, so there are some of the constitutional provision. So the power regarding the languages of the judiciary is vested with the parliament. Okay, so until the parliament provides, the following are to be used in the English language only. Okay, all the proceedings of the Supreme Court and the High Court are to be done in the English language. Then all the authoritative text or the text in which the bills, the ordinances, the rules, the regulations, the acts are written, that is also to be written in the English language. Okay, now then there is a provision in which the governor of a state, with previous consent of the president, can authorize the Hindi or any regional language or any official language of the state in the proceeding with the high court. Okay, proceedings हो सकती हैं high court में, but the judgment is to be done in the language which is English only. Okay, now these are the provisions regarding the languages of the judiciary. Now next is some of the special directives are there with regard to the protection of linguistic minorities. What are these provisions? So every aggrieved person has the right to submit a representation for the address of any grievances in his language he may consider so. So these are some of the provisions. That is not that important. Now if I talk about the 22 scheduled languages, so there are 22 scheduled languages as of now. Last year in the UPSC 2024 CSC prelims examination, a question was asked regarding the official languages. Now, what was the provision? That there are 22 languages, official languages, in which the Sindhi was added by the 21st constitutional amendment of 1967. Konkani, Manipuri and Nepali was added as an official language in the 71st constitutional amendment of 1992. Then the Bodo, Dongri, Maithili, Santhali, these 4 languages were added as the official languages in the year 92nd Amendment Act of the year 2003. Okay, these are the official 22 scheduled languages. Now, if I talk about the classical languages, so as I told you, when I was starting the lecture, there were 6 classical languages, but but in the year 2024 5 additional classical languages were added. So which are these 6 classical languages that were earlier? So the first classical language was Tamil in the year 2004, then second was Sanskrit in the year 2005. Now, if I talk about the next language, that was Telugu in the year 2008. Then it was Kannada in the year 2008. Then Malayalam was given the status of classical language in the year 2013, and Odia was given the status of classical language in the year 2014. Additional to this, in the year 2024, 5 extra additional languages were added. So which were these languages? It was Marathi, it was Pali, it was Prakrit, it was Bengali, and then Assamese. So as of today, in the year 2025, there are 11 classical languages. This you need to know, and these are the 5 languages that have been added in the year 2024. 6 languages were earlier to these 5, so total 11 number of classical languages are there. Okay, so we are done with the explanation part of this chapter, and let's now straight away move to the questions of this chapter. Now, what is the now there is the first question. Parliament of India may make any one or more of the languages in use in a state or Hindi as the official languages of the state. So the parliament has power regarding the judiciary. Okay, any languages which is to be used in the judiciary, that power is rested with the parliament. Okay, now any to make any more one or more languages or Hindi as an official language of the state, this power rests with the state legislature and not the parliament. Okay, so the first statement is incorrect. Let us now see the next question, next statement. The Official Languages Act lay down that English should be used for the purpose of communication between the union and non-Hindi state. This I already told you in the explanation part. So the second statement seems to be correct. So the correct answer to this question is only B is correct. Let's now see the next question, which is which of the following sets of the articles of the Constitution of India contains provisions pertaining to the official languages. So the provisions are mentioned from article 343 to article 351. Okay, article, if I talk about the specific article, let me tell you some of the important articles. Article 343 tells about the official language of the union. Okay, then there is article 344. Now I already told you there is a commission that is appointed by the president, and then that commission, the report of the commission is seen by the committee that is appointed by the parliament. So this commission and committee of the parliament on official languages is mentioned under article 344. Then article 345 is about the regional languages, that is the official language of the state. Now the important point here to note is that in the article 348, this is an important article that which says about the languages that is to be used in the Supreme Court, in the High Court for the action bill, and that language is used. That language is English only. So this is an important article. So another important article is article 350A that facilitates for the instruction in mother tongue. This is also a directive, an extra directive which is mentioned in the directive principle of state policy. Okay, the instruction in mother tongue at the primary age, this is mentioned under article 350A of the constitution. And then in article 350B there is special officer for the linguistic minorities. And then there is article 351 which tells us about the directives that are to be undertaken for the development of Hindi language. Okay, so these are some of the important articles that you need to know in this chapter. Okay, you can just write it down or just revise these articles again and again. It is definitely going to help you solve the questions. Let's now move to the next question. The Supreme Court hears only those petition or appeal in English and not in Hindi. Yes, because as it is mentioned that unless specified by the Parliament, the English is used to be used as a medium in the Supreme Court as well as the High Court. Okay, now the next statement is the Parliament has not made any provision for the use of Hindi in the Supreme Court. Yes, the statement is absolutely true. And because the use of Hindi is not mentioned or no provision has been made regarding this by the Parliament, that is why English is used in the Supreme Court. So both the statement are individually true and the second statement is the correct explanation of the first statement. So A is the correct answer to this question. Let us now see the next question, that is in which of the following years the Parliament enacted the Official Languages Act. So this is a static question and it is important. Okay, so the correct answer to this question is 1963 is the year when the Parliament enacted the Official Languages Act. Now next is Sindhi was included in the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India by the, now it was added by the 21st Constitutional Amendment Act of the year 1967. So A is the correct answer. Now other than Sindhi, there were some other important languages which were added by different constitutional amendment that you need to know. You can just rewind this video and see the explanation part. I have already mentioned and explained all of the languages that were added by the subsequent constitutional amendments of the Constitution. Now let us see the next question, that is question number 6. Now this is regarding the part of the Constitution which deals with the official languages. So it is the part 17 that deals with the official languages. Next comes the question number 7. We have to match here the states and the official languages that is used by it. Okay, now there are some of the northeastern states. So this is an important point that I'm going to tell you, that there are some of the northeastern states that use English as their official language. Now some of the state are Meghalaya uses the English language, then Arunachal Pradesh uses English language, and Nagaland. So these northeastern states use English as their official language. So A ka yahan pe 3 is correct. Goa, I already told you, uses Konkani. So we have to see A का 3 कहाँ पे mentioned है, A का 3 and D का 2 कहाँ पे mentioned है, D का 2 दो cases में mentioned है. Then Jharkhand, as it comes in the North India belt, uses which language? So it uses Hindi as the official language. And Jammu and Kashmir uses which language? So Jammu uses Urdu as its official language. Okay, so that is why हमारे 7th का correct answer हो जाएगा B. ठीक है, B is the correct answer. You have to remember the 9 North Indian state that uses Hindi. या इनका बस आप एक ये ध्यान में रखना कि there are 9 states that uses Hindi as their official languages, and Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, and then there is Nagaland. So these are the 3 Northeast Indian states that uses English as their official language. Okay, now let us see the next question. That is, in 1955, the president appointed an official language commission under the chairmanship of, so this was appointed under the chairmanship of B.G. Khed. So C is the correct answer to this question. So with this, we are done with the chapter of the official languages. Okay, so you can, if you like this video, do give this video a like. you can comment down your suggestions below in the comment section. So thank you for watching. You can watch nearly most of the chapters of polity are now complete. Okay, on I think around 5 to 7% chapters is only left. You can go to the playlist section and you can watch from lecture 1. All of your Laxmikanth book will be completed through MCQs. So thank you for watching this video. Keep studying.